or they are sitting at the cafes, at the coffee shop, at the Starbucks, and they are accessing the network. So we compress the traffic, we encrypt the traffic, we optimize the traffic. So you also don't have to worry about your security, because from your laptop, traffic going to the other side, to your data center is encrypted, is compressed, is deduplicated, so nobody will be able to hack that traffic or learn or understand. So it's an added security. While optimizing, making it faster, we are securing the traffic as well. Again, marketing slide, but this is very true that with the adoption of cloud, with software as a service, these things are increasing. More and more people are spending in those technologies. Some of the customers, some of the banks are building their own private clouds as well, working with the ISPs in Dubai. A lot of banks are working with the ISPs where they're moving the infrastructure, their DR sites especially, into their clouds to manage. Network congestion, latency, and connectivity for hybrid workers, right? So we significantly accelerate your traffic. We optimize your traffic. By the way, Emirates Airline also has installed our devices, and they are also optimizing from that perspective. Let's see. This is pretty much it. I just wanted to give you an idea who Riverbed is, not to go into too much technology and what we can do. So for you to key takeaways from a Riverbed perspective, that I can reduce your latency, I can make it faster while saving cost to you, while bringing down your network cost. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
बहुत शुक्रिया कामरान भाई, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful presentation, Kamran sahab. Now we'd like to call on stage Mr. Mohsen Raza, Territory Manager, Saudi Arabia, Hitachi Vantra, and he will be delivering a presentation on Data Foundation for Innovation. Please join us, Mr. Mohsen Raza.
So Hitachi. So I'm from the Hitachi Vantara. You can say Hitachi is not just an IT company. It's much more beyond that. Our DNA, since the time is very short, so I will be just covering in a summarized manner that how and what we are doing in the region and how things are shaping up. So just a quick thing. Okay, this is one Hitachi. One Hitachi, what does one Hitachi means out here? We have 576 companies around us, and we have, you name it, and we do it. It's just that we are the people who claim that whatever is your requirement, we have it in our bucket for it. So the place and the company where I belong is from the IT division. So IT division means it's Hitachi Vantara. So please don't ask me what Vantara means, because Vantara is an Italian, it's a word coming in, which means it's about the data protections and data management and all that. So Hitachi, I'm not going to waste much of the time out here, that here we do on-prem solution, we do hybrid solution, cloud is going on, right, anything over here. And we do ERP services, we do different sort of consultancy services within one Hitachi. We have Hitachi Digital, where all our Hitachi IT wings coming in. We are the subsidiary of Hitachi Limited Japan. So just moving forward, how and what we are doing within the banks. So, I mean, within banks, we optimize, it says hybrid cloud, mission critical, enterprise AI ready, and all that. So these are the good words which I always say whenever I'm giving a presentation or I'm giving something, these are the very good words in terms of over this slide. How does it make it happen into the real world? How does it things happen in the real time frame? What exactly? For us, whenever we go, we act, we work for a consultant. We come as a consultant. Then we rationalize and we see exactly what type of workload it is, what type of a solution is required, how things can be, how we can manage and go the security, manage the security, how we can go and do the AI, how we can go and add value to the customers. I just want to run through this. This is basic a marketing enterprise crisis. What my major topic is this one. I'm just going to jump on this cyber resilience wall. Before I go to that, move on to the slides, what is exactly going on right now in the industry? Since I belong to a territory KSA, so what I've been looking into KSA and what I've been going on in this region, that people are left, right, worrying about security, cyber security, they need to have that, they need to have other third-party solution, whatever. Do you exactly know what exactly is required for your environment? It's all, I mean, I'm not saying that nobody doesn't know, but the thing is this, exactly, some of the solutions are not for your environment or for something. So where we works in, there are some specialized solution, there are some other sort of solutions which comes in third party, which managing networks, some managing infrastructure, some giving you monitoring over the data center, some giving you the analytics of the securities and all. Now, after even that, then we are also compromised with the ransomware. Why? So the thing is this, that there's one case study which I would like to, it's from the very recent case study which happened in KSA. I can't name the bank because of the confidentiality, but I'll show you what exactly happens. How we work. What is our work of Hitachi Security? We have a separate, complete dedicated arm of security, sitting that's people, which known as VR. VR is because we launched this product way back in 2020, so it's known as VM 2020, cyber resilience, ransomware protection, vault, sandboxing. We are not new to this. We've been giving this within all our solution in patent infrastructure solution, in all our software sort solutions. But now what is enhanced in it? Okay, how does things work? Okay, this is one example. Virtualization is going on everywhere. We are working on containers. We are working on VMware, hypervisor, all sort of things. So how things can change? I mean, with VMware or just with VM, just not let VMware. Your production environment is on bare metal. You have hypervisor, and then you have built all your VMs with storage and all that. By the way, Op Center is our product. Since this is based out of Hitachi, it can be any storage. Just for the case study, we said that it's this one. So for Op Center, it's management engine. It says. What happened? What do we club? We club cyber VR to it. And we guaranteed that we can give you an assurance, written assurance. It comes with a legal entitlement in anywhere in the globe when you buy this sort of a solution, saying that we manage and we give you minimum downtime. Okay, when I say minimum downtime, how is it that possible? So I'll just go, okay. By the way, one more and best thing is that it comes with the forensic and pen testing environment things also. So you don't need to worry about, you don't need to go to any of the other third-party tool to do this. It's an end-to-end solution. And how we do it? We take immutable snapshot, meaning immutable snapshots. Once you take, everybody takes immutable snapshots. Okay, immutable snapshots, if you are taking an immutable snapshot, that doesn't mean that you are protecting everything from the ransomware. It happens. Recently, what happens was a bank, as I mentioned, took an immutable snapshot, kept on the storage part, and they were very happy, okay, fine, it's not. Because it's immutable, it's not to be seen. Nobody can see it, nobody can touch it, it's just there in the view. Ransomware attack came in at that point of time, and that really went into that, immutable, and really destroyed that. So what's the digital twin? Digital twin is that we come with an air gap. So it's within, once you talk about, it's also like we say cloud, we say all that, it's air gap is also one of the word going in the cyber, in the security environments these days like anything. And people, it's one of the things which really give you, you can say, what I can say in a very straightforward manner, an analysis report and see exactly what are the gaps, what are the things, how you can manage out. So this is the case study I'm sharing. I just wanted to the case study. I told you that they took immutable snapshot. Their production, all the virtual machines, they were on 70% utilization on the normal production machine. What happened? Ransomware came in, took out all the attack towards the, sorry, just go back. Okay, ransomware came in, it attacked. What happened? Immediately, forensic team got involved, the risk team, the data team got involved. They started doing the analysis. That took another, let's say, 2 days, 3 days, something like that. And after that, 4 days, in fact, it says 4 days, when complete backup recovery was done. And what happened was, it impacted the production. Now, 3 days to recover just 600 VMs because it was kept in an isolated DR's environment. Something was kept, it was not on the single environment. And even if it was on a single environment, that by the time it had attacked their main machine, it was not being replicated at that point of time. So that take 3 days to recover. 1 day to harden. So altogether, how many days we are talking about? 2 days to protection, 10 days. The RTO is 10 days. And this is, by the way, the real figure. This is the real figure of one of the bank which happened in KSA. And this was the disaster for them. They had DR, they went to the DR. By the time they wanted to revert back from the DR, the data was not in sync, so they had to build everything from the scratch again. And it really took ages to that. What happened then? Then then we were called, then they were said they bought a software. It's not just that the storage we given in. Our software can work on anything. So what we did, once in an example, if take Hitachi Cyber VR was there, we would have done the forensic in 30 minutes. And that's guaranteed because it's a tool within the built-in in that resiliency. The other thing, harden. Once the forensic was being done, hardening things and every eradication, quarantine being, everything was done simultaneously within that. 10 minutes just to protect recovery for the minimal, all done, finished. How much time frame? As low as 1 hour. As low as 1 hour. It's not even an hour. We have the world fastest ransomware recovery tool right now at this point of time, and it's not just that I'm representing Hitachi, I'm saying there. You can go and read out these case studies are available publicly also, and you can look at the customer reviews, what is going on out here. So, I mean, coming back, this is how you do. Okay. How we claim it's world fastest recovery ransomware protection. Okay, fine. We do immutable snapshot from the production diff. We do DRU snaps and all that. Having said so, after that, we have our op center. If I say forensic, yeah. We have our op center deployed. Op center protector is the name with the Cyber VR. And sorry, this is how you reprotect. You have immutable, you have everything, you have a dark snap. We say it a dark snap in our terms, but it's not a dark snap, which is there, which is present, and which cannot be seen, which cannot be. You can say it's there in the storage, like you have a raw storage there. You don't have a file system there, which you cannot go and access like in a manner. So it's a tenant-based access. So you cannot just go and anybody can enter and start break them. It's hardened and it's fixed. Just one click. After one click, reconnection can be done in case of any disaster. All the recovery. This is how we claim we have done it 1500 VMs in just 70 minutes, in just one click. In just one click. And this is something we have really worked out, because I say it's that data is our DNA. We know data management better than anyone's, because we've been working since our inception of Hitachi Digital way back in the 1970s. We were the first people who bought the data immutability within the market. We were the first people who bought the snapshot concept within the storage portfolio. But by the way, just to let you know, you don't need any sort of Hitachi hardware for this. Even if you have any third-party hardware, you can just buy the Cyber VR software portfolio, and you can go do that. So this is something unique. If I start talking about a data or start talking about Hitachi, so it's going to take ages and it won't end. So just a quick thing, we have few stall bases within the new stall. So you see OneLink has been there with us for last 10 plus years. For UBL, it's been there for more than, and then it's so forth. So it's just a brief, I would say, what we have done. And this is what Hitachi Vintara as a flavor in a security portfolio. Because my topic was to cover the data. Since the time is really short, I've been asked to cut off. So I will rather leave it to you. Thank you so much.
Hello. Thank you, Kamran Sahab. Now we're just going to let these props set in before we initiate a new panel discussion. On growing beyond digital payments and fund transfers, the roadmap for fintechs. It's going to be an exciting panel discussion. And Mr. Tabish Sabah, the CEO of Touchpoint Limited, will be arbitrating the session. And I'd like to call him on the stage as early as possible so that he can take the responsibilities from me.
Thank you, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. First of all, I think, I don't know if it is a good time to do a session or a bad time, but I have good news that, this is the last session of the day. The bad news is that I will take 40 minutes, but, we'll try to keep it short. We'll try to keep it interesting. So without wasting too much of time, as Imran has already talked about, the question is growing beyond digital payments and funds transfer. It's a pretty interesting concept, and frankly, it took me a lot of time to figure it out what exactly we would want to focus on. So we have a set of panelists which are going to discuss some of the aspects of it, and I'm going to discuss some of my own thoughts with them. So without wasting much time, I'll first introduce Khurram Abid, if you can please come. Khurram is a CIO at Mashriq Bank. A very familiar face in the industry, Standard Chartered. So then I would request Ayaz. Ayaz is the head of Ayaz. You. Abid, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, Abid. Oops, sorry. Syed Abid Raza. Rizvi, head of product and pricing. So if you do me doing this, there is a fundamental problem that I have aged, and it's not easy, so my apologies, Abid. I'll request Farhan Hassan, head of EasyPesa wallet business. Farhan, if you're here. So Farhan was also one of the panelists at the earlier session as well. I request Kamran Zaib, group head, cards and acquiring business from Allied Bank. Kamran Saab, please. Then I'll request Farooq. Farooq is an old friend also and heading BPC Technology Solutions. So welcome, Khurram. Welcome, Farooq. And lastly, I'll request Heather Wahab. Heather is the CEO of Hisab Kitab, a personal financial management company. So is it okay if I do it from here? I think it's fine. I don't need to come and sit there. No, no, we'll wait for you. So since I think fintech, digital banks, traditional bank, Islamic bank, microfinance bank, a lot of these terms are used quite often. So we'll start with Khurram. You know, a lot of times we have heard this, that we are a technology company with a banking license, you know. So most of the banks are trying to consider themselves as fintech or digital banks, etc. Where do you see that, you know, the fintechs can create a different, play a different game altogether, or how do you position a fintech in Pakistan context?
Hello. Yeah. Thank you, Tabish. So I hope people can understand. Sorry, can hear me? Yeah. Very interesting question, because post-COVID, I think we all learned that, you know, this banking services is not something which is a place, it is a task, right? It should happen. It's not that, you know, you have to go somewhere and you need to get it done. So this is something which we learned, and there was a huge space of digitization we realized at that point in time, and starting there, our journey is constantly on. We all also accept that our banking experience or payment experiences especially are not flawless. It is broken so far. So there is a huge opportunity to grow. And we see fintechs. Fintechs is something which is very robust, agile, and to be honest, they as a catalyst when they have to, you know, when it comes to innovation and all that. And banks, since last almost a decade or around 7-8 years, are constantly tapping the good fintechs. Wherever there are good opportunities, we are trying to opt. I think at fintech, the speed of innovation and uniqueness in ideas is something which is name of the game. Whereas banks have to remain compliant with so many regulations and the stuff. I think the decent diversity between this innovation and uniqueness of ideas and banks adopting that in a very controlled and secured way is something which is the real disruption we are bringing to the market. I potentially see huge opportunity when it comes to fintechs and banks collaboration to solve the issues, and especially the type of you know, unique challenges we are facing these days in payment space, fraud risk management, making ease of customers when it comes to lending and all that. So there's a huge space. And practically a genuine lethal partnership between these two parties is going to make the serious disruption. Thank you.
Thank you, Khurram. And I think, you know, since you have also worked with commercial banks in the past, and so is Abid. Abid is currently now looking after head of products and pricing at Rakmi Islamic. So Abid, what is your view, you know, coming from a commercial bank into a digital bank / fintech? It is a transition, and how do you see this game being played in Pakistan?
Assalamu alaikum. In terms of digital banks, if you look at the international examples, the key success markers for any digital bank, any successful digital bank, has been three things: their speed to market, product innovation, and low cost of operations. If these three things, if the fintechs can somehow work on that and be successful on that, I think this is the only way they can survive in this industry, because banks are there for a long time and they have been servicing customers, although the inclusion might not be at the level that what the regulator asks or what our ask is, but these are the three things that they need to be best at, because and not only these things, but also there are challenges for digital banks which we are currently working and trying to mitigate that. because we will not have any physical branches or physical outlet per se. So our brand equity or our brand awareness at the market level won't be that much. So our cost of acquisition initially would be very high when you compare it with the banks. Banks have gradually decreased it to a level, but that is something that needs to be navigated by digital bank when I have joined this new venture here. Secondly, because there is no physical recourse for the customer, because we don't have any physical branches or any physical outlets, so data security, information security would be the biggest risk that a digital bank will have to cater for. We have seen few presentations in our sessions today. And lastly, and the biggest challenge that we are trying to right now, trying to find an answer for, is the liquidity. So, as you all know that banks are high in liquidity. They have the physical infrastructure, they have the cash to digital conversion points. Fintechs in terms of Easy Paisa or the upcoming digital bank, they might have solved it for small ticket item, but we being a credit-driven bank, because as you all know, the shareholder capital is very expensive and is very limited. So these are the things that we are trying to right now fix at some point in time. We are in discussions with the banks. Externally to mitigate this, we are also looking at the payment rail that you call, RAST and OneLink. But also we are also looking at internally in terms of product innovation, that we can bring in products that could inculcate savings behavior within the customers, so that liquidity stays longer with us. So these are I think the basic challenges that we are currently trying to work with in the real bank arena.
Yeah, interesting thought. I'll come back to you, Abid, again on especially the collaboration piece. But let me ask Farhan. This is something that is important. That you have been running a digital financial services company for over a decade. But when we think of fintech as a company or as an industry or as a business, the first thing that comes to mind is mobile only. How relevant is it from a Pakistan perspective? Is mobile the only thing that can help them survive, or there is a need for a large ecosystem to be with? And since, with decades of experience, who can shed better light than you?
Right. So, am I audible?
I think you need to speak up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Better.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's a known truth that Easy Paisa is mobile only service, and that is the reason why Easy Paisa came into existence as well, because we wanted to solve a very pertinent problem for the masses, and how we could do that is, again, we need to find at that point in time what is the technology which is easily and easily available for the masses and at scale as well. So mobile phones, I mean, have been the great equalizer all across the world. I mean, that's something which has reduced the education gap, the information gap, and the communication gap. So that is something that has been our success story, and that I believe will be the future as well. And interestingly enough, I mean, in last, post, like ever since COVID, this is something that, we say it in a joking manner, but now if you look at it, all the banks are trying to be fintechs, and all the fintechs are trying to be banks.
Yes.
Right? So eventually they will converge to a point where there will be very, blurred lines in terms of who's who and how they are, operating. So essentially, as I see it, when Easy Paisa came into being, and that was coming at the back of Telenor network and serving primarily USSD customers. But over time, we grew and we moved into telco agnostic model, and then now you don't have to have a particular network's SIM in your mobile to use Easy Paisa. I mean, that's easily available, and that's the case with all the other mobile banking applications as well. But now, as we step into the future, as the next thing will be the bank agnostic way of doing business. Then you don't have to have a particular bank's account to do the particular transaction, and that's the beauty of embedded finance and embedded technologies and embedded financial services that will combine all these banks under one platform. So that is that is how I see it, and that is going to be on mobile. I mean there is no doubt about it.
Yeah. Interesting concept, and I have a leading question, and I'll come back to you with regards to mobile apps, especially, considering how many mobile banks apps are in the market, how it is going to span out, etc. But before we get to that, it's like big boys versus the small boys. The big boys are banks, the fintechs are small boys. But I'll rope Kamran Saab in. Kamran Saab, what key areas should fintech focus on in order to achieve deeper penetration, number one? And what is the business case that they need to have in order to evolve themselves as a successful business organization or industry?
Thank you, Tabish.
Yes, I think now you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So, I believe there are a number of areas where fintechs can actually penetrate. But before getting into this discussion, I think the most important part we need to understand is that technology adaptability in Pakistan is need-based. So if the products and services are more closer to the need of the customer, the success rate would be higher. There are few segments which I feel that fintechs needs to penetrate. Card acceptance, Jawad Sahab already spoke about it, though we have seen exponential growth in terms of POS network. But when we look towards the portfolio mix, less than 5% of the merchants are contributing almost 85 to 95% of volume.
Yeah.
So like we are sitting on a ticking bomb. So offering a low-cost integrated solution probably is the right approach towards increasing the size of the pie. RAS QR, we already heard lots of things about RAS QR, but I believe that another segment where RAS QR can be capitalized is the unconventional acceptance space. So giving you example of distribution network. Currently, if we, and these distribution networks are actually backed by the corporate companies like big FMCGs. But the distribution network altogether is a manual process, starting from order taking, deliveries, even collections. So I believe the QR, RAS QR would play a very vital role building a platform where we can actually have this strong payment ecosystem which can actually not only enhance, but it also build a very strong use case. Loyalty is another field. Banks are already working in this segment, but when we talk about the retail loyalty, we barely see any strong use case. And for customer retention and creating a value, loyalty plays a very important role. Giving you a small example, in US only, they have 12 loyalty program over the single household. So this is another segment where I believe that the fintechs needs to focus and penetrate.
Thank you, Kamran Saab. And I do have a follow-up question, but let me first get the first round. So before I come to you, Farooq, Heather, you are trying to be in a very interesting space called personal financial management, and it's a lot of buzzword globally around banks trying to implement financial management solutions. Why have we not seen such a big uptake in the Pakistan financial sector? What are some of the fundamental reasons that you feel that can help the industry to adapt this faster, considering what the pace is right now?
Thank you, Tabish.
So,
Ji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you again. I'll take a name, open banking. Okay, I think one of the reasons that is this thing is not coming about, especially in Pakistan, is the fact that the open banking regulations are still under play, and that is limiting the use or the flow of PFM in Pakistan. But having said that, we have seen some good interest from the local banking industry. They want to adopt, but the fear factor that how are they going to manage it, or what are the factors which the interconnecting to other channels. So that is a limiting factor that has not been able to make PFM a known thing in Pakistan. I think where I'm really happy about the fact that we, the company that I represent, we have created this app, PFM app, which is now competing very well in the international market. So it's not that the app has an issue or the requirement, it is the usage and the ecosystem surrounding it, which is a necessity for PFM to come in play. The other thing that we are sensing is the fact that, and this is the message that we take it to the banking industry and consumers also, is the fact that financial wellness is now a very important element in the ecosystem. People want to know how well they are doing, what are the challenges, and the fact that the bank also wants to know exactly what is the situation of the consumer. They want to retain the consumer, they want to know that what are his next moves, and this product helps them in getting that visibility or that information. Once the system gets connected with all the data channels coming in, then it can become a very powerful tool. I do hope, and we are in discussion with the regulators and the other organizations, that how fast can we get the open banking regulations in place. I think once that comes in, we are going to see a major uptake on PFM. But in the meantime, with all the challenges, we still have 3 institutions in Pakistan who are already at the various stages of deployment. So hopefully, we'll have that traction very soon in the market.
Thank you, Heather. Yeah, sure.
मैंने पहले हैदर से परमिशन ली कि अगर हैदर इजाज़त दें. When I was joining, and you know me, right? I worked with 18 years for one bank, very well protected. We know group standards and all that. And then when I was coming here in a digital bank, I was just thinking for myself how I'm feeling. There was anxiety, fear, and there was a solid commitment with myself that I will unlearn a lot. When I came here, literally, my expectations were completely different, and I have to double what I told myself that I have to unlearn and all that, right? So surely there is a fear and anxiety, but the moment people started using it and trusting, it will come automatically. On the other side, at our end, we need to make sure that it remains relevant.
Yep.
That is going to make success. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Khurram. It clearly, maybe I can clearly see you are a golfer, because an unlearn is a term that is used most by golfers, in order to forget their swing. But Heather, you want to answer? Just quickly, and then I'll go to.
It's open. Thank you. Again, very relevant and real observation, and I agree with you. It's interesting. So we have 2 tracks. One is a white label, which the institutions they adopt, and then they pass it to the consumer, and then we have the consumer side. It's so the stickiness is so high that once you get used to it, then leaving it, I personally get calls from the consumer using it that I'm stuck, I'm very worried, my system is not working, and I have my crucial data. So that's the level. To ensure that the system is designed in a way, the new version that's coming about has all the parameters. It's security driven, PCI, DSS compliant and all that. So we are ensuring that at least the infrastructure side, that is taken care of. Just last, it's still surprising that we currently, if I am not mistaken, I am engaged in about 12 or 14 opportunities in the international market. So, that track is happening. Thank you.
Very good. Farokh, all of this requires tech, you know. From a Pakistan perspective, being a global service provider, BPC is, why do you still see a lag of cloud picking opportunities in Pakistan? Why still there is a fear of banks going towards cloud 100%, what needs to do? I understand from a security point of view is one aspect, but I think from an infrastructure point of view, it would be good if you can share some of your thoughts around this, please.
Thank you, Tavish. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So I think there are multiple.
I don't know if you are audible at the back. Guys, can you hear him?
I'll
okay.
try to speak a bit higher. So yeah, I think there are multiple aspects to it, Tabish. If you look at the infrastructure that we have built around, within the country altogether, there are some cloud service providers in the country, but what I see that big international players has to come around, to this country to serve this, digitization better, because of the reason that the industry application, if you look at the application side, it has gone to a certain level. But if you look at the infrastructure side in terms of cloud adoption and cloud, existing in the country, I still see a lacking in the security side. We BPC ourselves, we were into establishing a cloud infrastructure altogether. But when we assess it altogether, we see a lot of investment that needs to be done primarily, to bring up to that level where we can, compete against the world's Azure's or OCI, Oracle Cloud, infrastructures and all. So yes, but I think the industry is moving into the right direction. Again, what Khurram Abed has just said, we have to unlearn a lot, in terms of deploying applications in-house, having, with all the aspects that are connected to it. And we have to open up, going towards open infrastructures, going up towards open APIs, and going up towards cloud, and that is what is happening in the rest of the world as well. So sooner or later we'll go into the same direction, but I think, we need to quickly move and unlearn things to cope up with the pace that the world is moving forward with.
Interesting, and now I'll just loop that initial conversation that Khurram Abed, you had about digital banks, collaborating with banks, do you see that happening? Is there friction, considering that, the banks has their own play, they're the big boys in town, how do you see yourself collaborating with these boys?
So, एक तो ये कि फ़रोख वाली चीज़ के अंदर जो cloud के अंदर ना, one of the most important thing is regulatory support also.
Yep.
Without regulatory support,
Understand.
of course, we cannot do. Again, there's a huge difference between the way we used to think about disruption or technology innovation and the way fintechs have brought that thing, right? Honestly speaking, conventionally हमारा fraud क्या होता था कि जी वो merchants category code होते थे, उनके ऊपर हम limits लगा देते and all that. Now the technology is like आप mobile right hand में pick करते हैं या left hand में आप कितनी दूर रखते हैं. Technologies are able to guess whether this person is genuine or not. Is this specific, or is this relevant to the customer's general behaviors or not, right? Adopting those type of mindset, I can give multiple examples. मुझे याद trade-based money laundering के हवाले से एक State Bank का circular था when we were trying to solve in my previous organization. We thought every day we will take some pricing of everything which we are importing, and then we'll make a a snapshot view of the general pricing trend and all that. Whereas a vendor came who developed the RPS, those RPS are keep on checking every moment what is the price variation in oil and other commodities and all that. And whenever you try to open the LC for those things and all that, it can give you a real snapshot view of 1 year, 2 years, or whatever, right? So this type of innovation without fresh mindset is impossible. Something similar Digital banks की side पे जैसे I was earlier also speaking कि there was a lot of fear and anxiety we also had. It is not going to happen in a day, and there is a lot of collaboration between the banking partners, you call it big boys, and us and fintech will happen. And this, without this thing, we cannot complete the ecosystem. Of course, we don't have physical presence. Yeah. Maybe we set up few, phygital branches type of thing where physical and digital both exist. But again, for cash and other stuff, we will be relying on many of the local partners, be it banks and other. Regulatory support is also something, because our regulatory bodies have developed this banking ecosystem over the period of time, but this was with the mindset of physical branches, banking and all that. Now digital also needs similar support to develop a real ecosystem in the industry. But is this just going to be giving only from big boys? No, surely digital banks are coming up with some very attractive ideas, very different, unique thoughts and things. I usually say, when we are designing, at least from Mashriq point of view, I can confirm when we were designing the systems, we considered resilience as a given, AI built in our ecosystem or solution. Data capability is completely a mature data model is something which we are trying to build in our systems. So many new rules of the game we are building it, and this is going to definitely help a lot to the industry. Is this going to happen overnight, 1 year, 2 years? No, it will take time. This partnership and constant investment in innovation for maybe 5 years or decade is going to change or completely revolutionize the ecosystem. And big boy support plus regulatory support will play a very important role.
Yeah, Ji Kamran sir.
I just want to add what Khurram just said. I believe keeping in view the potential of our market, this collaboration is inevitable. Like alone, either of the industry can tap down to this potential. So when we talk about fintechs, the first thing pops out in our mind is that agility, that effective time to market, whereby the banks, they are known for their operational efficiency, risk management. So, to cater the need and to build a strong use case, this collaboration has to happen. So that's the way we need to, actually strategize it, rather, trying in a different silos. The success lies in terms of collaboration. This is how I actually envision this thing.
Thank you, Kamran Saab. And I just have one more question, and I like maybe Farhan to first take, because he talked about having an ID, with multiple accounts, one can perform irrespective of the bank or bank agnostic. Interestingly, every single bank is coming up with their own app also. Very right, that's the model it is. We have seen in Pakistan, 1 and 2 banks have experimented with WhatsApp banking by offering financial transactions. And the results have been extremely encouraging as to what I have been told, that, processing 1 billion transaction a month, etc., without doing a lot of marketing. Are we going to see death of mobile banking apps in the long term? Or you think, and taking over these social media platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, etc., or you think that, it's going to continue? And the reason that I'm asking you, because, you have probably the most number of users on your app compared to anyone else.
So in the short term, I don't see it happening. In fact, I see it growing. With all these new digital banks coming up, they will also be coming up with their own respective apps as well. And similarly, the existing incumbent banks will also try to leverage onto that medium of getting and acquiring new customers. in the long run, I see embedded finance taking over a lot of things going forward. We talked about open banking. We talked about open APIs. So like if you just take the example of e-commerce, right? So e-commerce is now happening a lot on TikTok directly, right?
Yeah.
People are watching the videos and they are paying for the product then and there. Similarly, same is the case with all the other big e-commerce platforms. That's the needs are changing, the behaviors and consumption behaviors are changing, and you have to adapt to that. So in the long run, I see that you would not have to have a specific app to do a certain transaction. The transactions, so you see the main objective of any like payment digitization movement is that why do we need to do it rather than how we have to do it.
Yeah.
So that why part is really important, and if the objective is to digitize it, really doesn't matter how it's being done, because at the back end, technology drives this whole thing going forward. So yeah, I mean that's something that is an interesting thing which is developing, and with AI coming in, and in the morning we saw, and someone mentioned the example of Meta launching the goggles, and having those. Yaya was mentioning about that. So that is something which is going to be the future. I mean, that's where consumers are going to be, and that's how they would like to transact, and they would like to interact with the banking solution as well. So yeah, I mean, lines will be blurred between an out-and-out specific banking app to do a certain transaction, but in the short run, I believe it's still required, because you see there are certain benefits of these things, because the regulatory framework has to be ensured, the customer identity has to be ensured, the sanctity of those financial transactions have to be secured. So for that, the bank is required, and that is their specialty, to make sure that the transactions are secure and are happening in a secure environment. But as we progress and as we overcome these challenges beyond the specific platform, I believe things will be very different as we are talking right now.
Yeah, yeah, Farooq, you
Yeah,
can
so
go ahead, and then
I just
I'll
wanted
reach
to
out
add
to
what
Abid.
Farhan has just said. So I think primarily, number one is that we all agree that WhatsApp banking will be used by the tech savvy altogether, number one. And number two is that a proper knowledge transfer and a trust needs to be built on the customer side. Once it is done, then I think in a longer run, we will move towards super app concepts, applications, integrated applications, which do not only provide financial services, but will have integration with social media platforms and provide other services as well, which is the concept of a super app coming up. And then after the super app, there will be, what I see, that there will be an acquisition of the apps coming up with a single app coming up with all the feature set, and then with a single login ID and user password, you can access the bank accounts of whatever the accounts you have been holding of with whatever bank, and then you can do the same kind of similar transactions to happen the same way. And I think this is an organic growth that has been happening, and we have seen the similar kind of things happening in Africa altogether. With coming up with the super app applications on the national level, even, and on the shared switch level, where they provide a single super application and a single user ID and password with the selection of a bank name will actually give you an access to your accounts and do all that fund transfer from there. So I think eventually we'll go into that direction. But it will, coming up with the social media platforms like this will only facilitate mobile banking and internet banking altogether. But eventually, these mobile application internet banking is not going to die anyway sooner.
Okay. One last question from Abid. Abid, while the journey is obviously mobile centric for digital banks and for fintechs, have you considered using these platforms like WhatsApp as a starting point, or you think it's too early for a digital bank to get into that journey?
Look, WhatsApp has its own usability and it has its own features, but I think WhatsApp will always be a complementary sort of a channel rather than a supplementary channel for app, because there are a lot of things that you can do on the app but you can't do on WhatsApp, specifically for onboarding sort of thing, the identity verification system. So those integration, I don't know how much open WhatsApp would be for Pakistan, or how much open the regulator would be to compromise on that. I think for smaller ticket size transactions, for low KYC required transactions, balance inquiry, airtime top-ups, bill payments, I think for me, and I might be wrong, but for me, I think that would be more relevant for WhatsApp users, and especially the chatbot for servicing, where the large language systems can be used for the customer, and maybe for PFM, maybe WhatsApp would be a very good complementary service. But for hardcore KYC verifications and other thing, I think app or other channels would be there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your for sharing your thoughts. So in the end, I think the way technology is evolving, the way technology is changing, it's very, very difficult to predict how next year will be, And it would be a good checkpoint for us to reflect as to what the conversations were around in this summit, and probably reflect upon and see, how much we have progressed from there as to what all the discussion points were. Thank you so very much, each one of you, for sparing time. Thank you so much, each one of you also, for bearing it. Thank you, Imran. Over to you.
Now we have a signing ceremony between Pakistan Mercantile and Messrs. Infotech. And I invite both of the people from Messrs. Infotech and Pakistan Mercantile to come up here on the stage and join us, please. The event commemorates the implementation of the Infinium Commodities Trading System, which has been created, with the IPO which is with Messrs. Infotech. Thank you very much. And now to conclude, we have a sumptuous lunch organized for everybody. Let's move to the lunch, and now this is the end of the ceremony. Thank you very much.